going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Let's Eat Orlando with Amy, Drew, and Biggie. Hope everyone is doing well. What's going on, Amy, Drew? What's good and new with you?
Yeah, we're eating Orlando. That's what we did. We did yesterday, we did last week, and we ate. I mean, the story came out a while ago, but it's still worth talking about, is that you and I went to Linda's sort of for your birthday, because on the show you had told me this was like the reverse, when you were like, what do you mean you've never had Cane's? And I was like, how have you never been to La Cantina?
Yeah, like an Orlando institution, been open since 1947, so 78 years. I've been in Orlando for over 30, and I've driven by it. I've seen it. It's on East Colonial area, and I've never really thought much of it. And I had a coworker of mine tell me that she was celebrating. She was a younger coworker, Allison, and she told me she and her husband were celebrating. And I said, "Oh yeah, where are you guys going to celebrate?" And she's like, "Oh, our celebration place is Linda's La Cantina." And I was like, "Really?" She goes, "Oh yeah." She's like, "It is like an awesome steakhouse, but it's like it's just like a comfy like steakhouse, no frills steakhouse. It's just a good steakhouse." She's like, "Just good food, but it's affordable." And I was just like, "Really?" And I was like, "I want to eat there." And then when I tried to like book a reservation, I couldn't. Like there was no reservations. I had like booked it a few weeks out and I couldn't. There was like nothing available.
No, you got to text like within the week. Like they drop a certain day and you have to text those days. But I told you, you didn't believe me. You're like, how are we going to go? I said, you got to go right when they open. And I was like, so I'll meet you there at 4. And you were like, wait, we're going to have dinner
at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, who eats at 4 o'clock? And I was just like, I guess we do.
Yeah, I feel like it's a very rat packy thing. Like I want to drink a big Negroni and eat a big steak. I mean, look, you're not eating it at 4 o'clock. By the time it gets there, it's a little bit later. But you can have the drink right away, which I appreciate.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I will say that
you can go get a bar seat.
There's a bar seat. There's a bar. I mean, I don't know if people listening, I mean, this is one of those places where I'm pretty sure when I started asking people after I ate there, I'd be like, "Hey, dude, have you been to Linda's La Cantina?" And I've had people go, "Oh yeah, it's been a while since I've eaten there," or "Yeah, I've eaten there," or "Oh no, I've always wanted to." And I was like, "Man, I'm like, you seriously, like, this is gonna be my new steakhouse. When I want steak, I'm just gonna come here," because I'm like, it's priced so well. The food, the service. Food is delicious. I was seriously a fan of it. And I laughed because we got there at 4. I literally was in line at 4 o'clock.
You got there before I did. And I was on the way there. I was like, you're like, I'm in my car. I said, go to the door and get a table and I'll be there in like 8 minutes or whatever my ETA was. And by the time I got in there, it was like 4:11 when I sat down with you, something like that. And the place was a third or more full. And by 4:30, the whole place was full except for like 2 reserved birthday party. Like, I don't know what they were for, but they were bigger tables that had balloons and stuff on them. So they were like reserved for somebody's little celebration. Every other table was taken. It was 4:30 on.
Yeah, which is insane to me to think. And I was like, and it was such a variety. And I think that's what I loved about it, was that there was such a variety of people there. Like, yes, there was the early bird special people, but there was such a variety of like different cultures, different people, just young, old, people dressed up, people some nicely dressed, some at the time there was a wrestling event. And so I had a lot of people wearing wrestling shirts, t-shirts and shorts.
There was a dude at the bar when I got up to go look, and he was wearing a tank top. We all got to see, we're in a steakhouse, and like, I can see this guy's armpit.
I mean, but so yeah, I think it was one of those where I was like, man, and when I looked around, and you even told me, you're like, I don't think they've changed anything, going through it. I mean, but it's
99.
Yeah.
It's perfect. I mean, it's perfect the way it is. I love it exactly the way it is.
Correct.
I love it exactly the way it is. And the tablecloths, I think, are the same ones that my dad had in his restaurant in like the 70s.
Yeah, it's definitely has a nostalgic, like old school charm. It's just like a timeless place to be in. And then like I said, like we ordered, we had a great server. His name was Geronimo,
which was fantastic.
Yeah, the guy knew, like, he's been working there for I think like 5 or 6 years, and like,
I think
you
he
know,
said 6 years. I think
yeah,
he said, and he
yeah.
was. The whole experience was great because it had been a while. The last time that I had been there was a while ago, and I ordered wine, and it wasn't my favorite. There's nothing wrong with it. It just wasn't hitting. And then I see this guy walk past our table with like a drink, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Linda's has a bar. So I ordered a Negroni, and what showed up was like a big gulp. It was like, the pour was ridiculous. It was all, the rocks glass was basically full. It looked like a triple with two stirrers. I mean, it lasted my whole meal.
Well, and I mean, you've had a Negroni at other places, obviously larger or finer establishments that you probably would have probably paid double or triple what you would have probably paid for what you had.
I have paid more than triple the price. I'm granted it was at the Tampa Edition Hotel. I love bringing this up. $28. The Negroni was $28, and this Negroni was $9. I kept waiting because I didn't know how much it was because I ordered it from the waiter and he brought it, and I kept saying, I can't wait to see what the check said. I bet it was $10 and it was $9.
Yeah, it was they definitely did it do it right. It's almost like it's frozen in time, but I'm perfectly fine with that. With it. Do you remember what did you have a go-to order, right? When you go there, what I know
I always get the ribeye. I'm a ribeye girl. I prefer, they don't do a bone-in ribeye there. So like I would always waffle, do I want a T-bone instead? Because I like bone-in steak. But you did the T-bone, so I was like, I'll do the ribeye. But I am usually, if it's on the menu, I'm a bone-in ribeye girl at a steakhouse. That's what I
Yeah. And I did the La Cantina Medium T-Bone. I probably could have that. It's like a 1.5 pound New York strip and filet. So it is you definitely get your meat on. Possible meat sweats can occur based on how big of a steak it was.
Neither of us finished our steaks, but the thing is that I priced it out. I won't name them, but I went online and looked at the menus of 3 other non-hotel steakhouses in Orlando, popular ones, that people like. And the average cost of what I had, just the steak, mind you, just the steak was, I believe, $74. And I think that's what it was. I can double check that. But at Linda's for what I think was 46, I guess I should have looked. It was 42 or 46. I think mine was 46 and yours was 49, I think. For $46, I got that 16-ounce ribeye and a salad and my choice of a side. And as as somebody pointed out to me after, if you are 65 or older and you mention this when you order before 6 p.m., you will get 10% off your entree. I don't know how many people I don't know how many listeners we have, but that is a fun fact. You will get 10. You have to tell them at the time you order, and it has to be before 6 o'clock.
And what do you tell them? You just say, hey, I'm 65?
Yeah, I want the 65 plus discount.
I'm going to take my parents to eat there.
There you go.
I already told them I'm going to go there.
10% off the entree. You get 10% off the entree.
I love it.
So that would basically have been another $5 off either of our.
I mean, heck, I'd give it to them as extra for tip just because of how good.
Yeah,
how good
I'm sure a lot of people do.
And the service. I mean, it just something about a good steakhouse and a good steak. The other thing that I love when I go to a steakhouse, like obviously, usually you kind of you get like a salad to go with it, and I laugh because it's like the salad, it's just lettuce, but something about a steakhouse salad, but their steakhouse salad is different because all the dressing's made in house. And I think
it's lettuce, it's a little tomato. I think there's red onion, and then they have croutons that they probably make out of the free bread that's on the table. They're like big, hefty, buttery croutons. I tasted one, but it's so sad thing. I'm like, I'll taste it, but I won't eat the rest of the croutons. This is the way I cook. But you could be totally keto at this place. You get steak, a salad, get broccoli. Don't get a potato, get broccoli. I got broccoli.
I did not. I got a potato because I deserved
it. You did get a potato. I tasted it.
But let me tell you, that I like a Thousand Island, and that Thousand Island, like I was like, holy cow! I'm like, why is this salad so good? And then when we were talking, he's like, oh no, we make all the stuff. We make the homemade vinaigrette, the homemade blue cheese, the ranch, the honey mustard, the Thousand Island or the French. Like that's all us. And I was just like, man, I'm like, that is delicious. And I was like, I don't know why it tastes so good, but I'm like, it was just so good to be able to have that with my steak.
And there were guys wearing Rhea Ripley shirts at the next and I was drinking a giant Negroni. So that's why the salad was so good.
Oh, yeah. And we had like these two older ladies.
Linda's La Cantina is good feel. You just go and it's just kind of like a happy, chill place, I think.
Oh, no, for sure.
Go with friends, go on a date, go with your parents. It's like nobody's not going to like that.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. I totally get why my friend Allison was like, hey, this is our celebration place. Because I was like, yeah, everyone can come here. I'm like, and there's food here. There's fish. There's fish there if you actually don't want to eat, and pasta. I think that's one of the things that we joked about because you said one of the things you wanted to try was their pasta dish.
I wanted to try it. No, Kristen said she wanted to try it. She said she would have gotten the pasta as a side because you can get spaghetti as a side dish, which to me is like, I don't know if I would do that in a steakhouse, but I'm glad that there are people who are. But there's no way I'm not getting steak at La Cantina. So that was why I ordered that blackened snapper or grilled snapper appetizer because it's like the same thing that you would get in the entree because I wanted to taste it. But there's no way I'm ordering fish there. I'm always going to order a steak.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the way it works when you order an entree, you get a house salad, and then you get a choice of either the baked potato, which is what I got, the steak fries, spaghetti, broccoli, or the Southern-style green beans as part of your meal. I mean,
I should try the fries. I like steak fries if they're like really.
I do love a good steak fry. I do love a good steak fry. I sometimes like that, but then like when I'm like, I really should go with a classic baked potato, just for the heck of it. When I had dinner,
sour cream and everything.
Yeah, it worked out well. I loved it. I'm a believer, and I'm definitely telling everyone about it. I'm like, and then I get a look when people go, like, oh my God, I haven't been there in forever. I didn't ever. I'm like, because I always see it. I drove by it, but it just kind of, fits in. It's near that Best Buy.
One of my favorite things about the night was that we got 2 desserts, right? And you're gonna laugh. We got the key lime pie, and we got this amazing. I don't know. They call it chocolate fudge cake, I think.
Yeah, it's their chocolate cake.
Okay, so they're chocolate cake. So it's like these layers of very, very dark chocolate cake, very fresh, with like a chocolate ganache, kind of a fudgy layer.
Let me read the description to you. It's a 5 layers of warm chocolate fudge cake topped with a dark chocolate ganache is what it is.
So Biggie at one point took the key lime pie and he dragged it through this ganache and proclaimed this the greatest idea since, sliced bread for his sandwiches. And he was like, they should serve this pie and you should be able to get a side of this chocolate sauce. And he was so excited about it that he told everybody at the host stand.
I did. I told them all.
And they were so happy to hear it. They were totally happy to listen to you. They were like, oh, we're so glad you enjoyed it.
It was, because that ganache was ridiculous. I mean, the chocolate cake was delicious. I will say I'm not usually a fan of getting certain desserts like at restaurants, just because a lot of times cakes look good, but then they're dry. And I'm like, especially, but they did say they're like, hey, we make these. And I was like, okay, if you make them, let's try.
That was a good cake. And the fudge was great. The fudge was really exceptional. And, we just were like, oh, let's try it. We're here. Let's try it. Yeah. And because I'm not sure if I've ever gotten dessert there before. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't really. But I also think you get there's so much meat and food that you're getting. You probably don't want dessert afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we tried it.
I'm glad we tried it if for no other reason than the way everybody at the host stand was so delighted to hear your advice.
Man, I'm telling you.
There's such nice people.
But if you have never had like a chocolate covered key lime pie on a stick, like in Key West. So for me, it's like, it makes sense. And I was like, man, I'm like, let me just try both of them, like 2 spoonfuls. And I literally grabbed a spoonful of the pie, a spoonful of the cake, and I ate it. And I was just like, man, this is how it should be done. And then that's when I was like, forget about the little, whatever they want to put on top of it. I'm like, just put a little ganache on the side or at least something to be able to put on like a little spread so I can dip it in. I'm like, it was so good.
And this was your first, I just love that, like, it was thrilling for me to be able to see you at Linda's for the first time, you know, having the La Cantina experience.
Yeah, man, I'm hooked. I want to go back again. I'm trying to figure out how I want to go
to,
back again.
It's really, you know, as much as I love so many of the other steakhouses in town and they all do a good job, and the hotel properties, when you live, you know, more in town, it's very hard to, you know, find a real good reason to pay double virtually for something, you know? Like, it's just,
No.
I don't, you know, I don't. You could dress up and go to Linda's. You could go have, you know, drinks somewhere after and, you know, have a little more of an affordable steakhouse experience, unless you're just married to the idea of, you know, the a la carte, very, you know, modern, sleek or whatever, like upgraded experience. But I mean, the food, the people, it's just, it's fun. I think it's a fun experience, and the food, you can't argue. It's a great steak.
No, you just have to either make a reservation via text and have them, you know, hopefully you get a spot. If not, show up early. Be there at 4 because it
he didn't believe me. You didn't believe me. You were like, really? I was like, I am telling you, go at 4. Like, we have to be there when the door opens.
I mean, I thought
Especially
I thought it was like, I thought it was
nuts. On a Tuesday, it might not have been as bad, or whenever they're open. On a Wednesday, I don't know if they're closed Monday, Tuesday, or something. But like on a Wednesday, probably wouldn't have been as bad. But on a Friday, you got to get there when the door opens if you don't have a reservation.
Yeah. I did tell them obviously, because I do love everything as a sandwich. I was like, you know, they really should have like a bar food because the bread was good too. And I was like, you know, you really should make, I'm like, I would totally kill for like a steak sandwich with like your steak and the bread and all that stuff. I'm like, I would kill if I could have that. So I kept telling them, I was like, how's that as an idea? You think you can make one of those? Because I totally would do that. I mean, it just sounds delicious because the meat was super, super good.
I'm sure if they had a lunch menu, there would be one on it, but they are a dinner only operation. I'm telling you, I wrote that story and I got, you know, 100 letters. I'm so glad that you wrote about La Cantina. It's been my favorite for 5 years, 10 years, 30 years. I've been going there since my grandfather brought me there. You know, like all of these different stories.
But I will tell you the thing, like the nostalgia part of it, I think helps to some degree. But like in the sense of, for a lot of places, like there's some places that you go to because of that, the nostalgia of eating there and the way it looks and all those things. But I think what I love about it is the quality of the food. Like, it's not like, so sometimes you go to those places and there's a nostalgia and then you eat it because that's what it is. But the level is like, it's good, but it's, you know, it's good. Like, you're like, okay, yeah, I get it. It's nostalgia.
How to cook steak and seafood. And that's what you're there for. Steak and a potato. It's definitely an art form, but it's not rocket science. They've been doing this since 1947. They know what they're doing. You know?
I think I read something on their site that their butcher, the guy who cuts all their meat, has like been there for like 45 years.
Yeah, and so that's what you're getting.
Yeah, you're just
getting. But beyond that, you could make arguments. Anybody could come to me and make an argument that X or Y steakhouse is, and I'm making air quotes, better. Yeah. But is it $37 better? Doubt it.
Oh yeah, for sure. My usual one when we would go as a family to celebrate stuff, we would go to A Land Remembered at Rose and Shingle Creek, and they're great. I've always had a good meal there. But I'm not gonna lie, I would think twice because I'm also very chill. So I like the idea that I get to have a nice kind of somewhat fancy, nice dinner, and at the same time still be comfortable and just like whatever, and do that. I definitely am all in for the idea of a place like a Linda's La Cantina and having and enjoying a steak at there anytime I possible.
Yeah, and you can go there in a t-shirt or a suit. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, this is not a paid advertising for Linda's La Cantina as much as we're showing love to it for this episode. But I will say that I did enjoy the meal so much.
Nobody knew we were there. The meal was paid for.
Yes, the meal. Yes, and I will say that it was, but it was definitely well worth it, and I definitely will be back to be able to have. I don't know if I'll have the key lime pie or the chocolate cake again. I probably would have the chocolate cake again because we would split it as a table cake.
Yeah, it would be like 3 of you or 5 of you. Everybody take a bite. A little sweet.
Yeah, everyone takes a bite. Yeah, and it's good. So I mean that works. But I will say that when I got back home, my family had my leftovers, so I was excited to have it the next morning. It didn't. As soon as I got home, they're like, "What you got over there?" And I was like, "Oh, I got some steak." And they're like, "Oh, let me try." And I was like, she's like, "Oh, this is good." And I was like, "Yep, that's it."
Yeah, I like sending you home with leftovers. I'm always like, what did everybody think? Who liked what?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you got to be able to have the someone else to be able to try it and stuff like that. And we definitely have. It's always a fun time. So I definitely appreciate it. I think it's definitely a good meal. I strongly recommend it. It definitely hits the mark of us saying eat local. You know, also the fact that I love the idea that we are talking about a place that has been here for so long. Kind of like the Beefy Kings, like those type of places that have been here, institutions that people kind of forget about, but they survive because of the quality. And there's a reason why they've survived, is because they provide quality, quality service, quality food, which I think are things that you should be able to enjoy. And especially in this day and age when you're making the right decision on where you're going to eat, you want something that you're going to get bang for your buck. And I will say that you definitely get bang for your buck going there.
Yeah, places like this are the places where it's reasonable. There's a lot of people that go to Linda's La Cantina, I bet, once a week or once a month, depending. That's their place because they know it and they love it. And as much as they might even want to try something else, they don't want to go somewhere else and then be like, oh, what a waste, and not like it as much. That's their thing. I think that, our waiter talked to us about how many people are regulars, and what a great gig. What a great server gig, working there.
I would be curious. I don't know if I could pull it off because I don't know if I can do as much as I would want to try their Parmesan, like their chicken or
eggplant parm. Don't they have an eggplant?
Yeah, they have an eggplant. They have an eggplant, a chicken tenderloin, veal patty, or eggplant Parmesan. And they, I don't know if I could pull it off. They even have manicotti. They have spaghetti. I would probably try the spaghetti with steak. I'd try that. What the heck? Why not?
I'd be so curious. What we could do next time, our experiment, we could get the huge steak so that we both have steak and then also get the eggplant parm and test it.
I'm down for
I love a good eggplant parm. I don't know if there's, it could just be we have to have something for vegetarians.
Correct.
And they do. So, that could be it. But it could.
Well, I mean, I did order. I think I actually saw someone at the table next to us actually order the eggplant parm, and it did look
there's no
pretty
way
good.
to give a steak for it. But if we could have, if we got the big steak, we could share that, and then we could taste the eggplant parm, and that would work for me.
I like that.
Yeah,
we'll have to try that next time. Well, that's our show for today. I definitely have steak, I guess, FOMO now, because I want steak. My mouth is salivating from the steak idea of the steak and to go back, but definitely go check them out. Is there another steakhouse that you guys like that you go to? Love to hear your thoughts and your feedback on it, on where you go, but definitely keep
does anybody local. Not like La Cantina? I've had people say, that's good for this, I like this, but nobody has ever told me they don't like it. Have you ever heard that?
No. I've never been there, or I haven't. It's been forever since I've been there. Is what
they might be more of, they might be Christner's people, they might be Bull and Bear people, but nobody ever says that they don't like La Cantina.
Yeah.
There's nothing not to like. There's just nothing not to like.
No, I agree. So go enjoy. Unless you don't like meat, then obviously you have the Parmesan or the pasta. Or the fish if you're a pescatarian, because they have fish there as well. So that's our episode. Thanks so much for listening, and I'm kind of curious, if you listen to this, leave it in the comments, or heck, even on social. How do you take your steak? I'm always kind of curious on that aspect, on how you take your steak. But thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.